All right, this video is going to walk you through how to solve a quadratic equation using the skills of completing the square. And within the completing those square, we've learned a skill called drop, double, divide. That allows you to get the standard form of the equation into graphing form. And what that looks like in this example here is we have a pair of parentheses that we're going to get into graphing form by dropping that -1, pointing that out in front. If you double -1, that turns into -2, and then you divide. And when you divide, 8 divided by -2, you get -4. So your parentheses then turn into x minus 4 squared. And what we've also learned, excuse me, is that when you have found the dimensions of the square, you have to subtract off the number of unit tiles that were used to fill that in. So it's going to be 4 squared times the number in the front. Once you multiply those two together, -1 times 4 squared, that gives you -16. You're always going to take that answer you get and subtract it from the last value over here. So you're subtracting -16. Now, -3 subtract -16 is like adding 16. So what happens then is when you put those together, you're going to get 13 for the answer. So you get plus 13, and it still equals 0. Then from there, we need to solve for x. So we're going to get things over to the other side by subtracting, first of all, the 13. If I subtract 13 to both sides first, you'll then have an equation that reads -x minus 4 squared equals -13. Then I want to get rid of the square root symbol by simply, the negative symbol by dividing by -1 to both sides. After doing that, my new equation then reads x minus 4 squared equals positive 13. Still going, we're trying to get rid of the square next. We'll square root both sides. Remember, when you square root, though, it's plus or minus your answer. As we keep going then, that's going to turn into x minus 4 equals plus or minus the square root of 13. And finally, as you finish the question, you have to simply add 4 to both sides. And as I add 4 to both sides, I'll have my final answer of, and what I put in the blank here is like this: x equals positive 4 plus the square root of 13 and positive 4 minus the square root of 13. Those are my two answers that would solve this equation, and that is the exact format they're in. Hope this video helps you. Remember how to solve quadratics using complete the square, drop, double, divide method.